Welcome back, everyone. I am the Depressed Dior, and this is Arkham Horror the Card Game, doing the Forgotten Realm with Mandy Thompson and Rita Young. So far, so good. We got through the first two scenarios, which are generally the big ones. Um, this one will be a little bit a bit of a breather, and then Boundaries Beyond is going to be the real test. After that, we'll be probably okay. If we can do real well on Boundary Beyond, I'll feel pretty comfortable going to the end. Shattered Aeons, I may still end up losing. And City of Archives can be kind of dangerous as well. I'm not too worried about Heart of Elders, and so far, as long as we stay on zero vengeance, Depths of Yoth should be pretty doable. So, with all that said and done, let's go ahead and continue to Scenario 3, Threads of Fate. Intro 1. The night passes with Ishchaka resting in your living room. You get no sleep for the remainder of the night, your thoughts drifting between concern and disbelief. Her story is preposterous, but you feel compelled to believe it nonetheless. You've known that the relic from the Etzley ruins had some deeper purpose ever since you first laid eyes on it. When you emerge from your bedroom the next morning, your uninvited guest is sitting at your dining room table, arms crossed tightly across her chest. Her piercing eyes trace your every move like a bird watching its prey. No pleasantries are exchanged. Where's the relic now? Ishchaka asks impatiently. Where have you brought it? You explain that it is safe in good hands. She shakes her head, her knuckles white with frustration. I assure you, it is not. So we gave the relic to Harlan Ernston, so we go to Intro 3, which is up here. Setting aside your many questions for the time being, you call Harlan's office at the university. Though the sun is barely peeking over the horizon, you've always known him to be an early riser. The operator connects you after a short delay. Harlan's voice is shaky and rough. He cuts you off as soon as you ask about the relic. Don't, he barks. They're listening. They don't know I'm keeping it here. They have already taken Alejandro. You try to calm him down so you can ask him what he means, but he cuts the conversation short. I have to go. They are here. The line goes dead. Sure enough, Alejandro is not answering his telephone, and none of his other associates have seen him since yesterday. Believe me now, Ishtaka asks, rising to her feet, gathering her things. We've wasted enough time. Find the relic and meet me back here tonight. Don't follow me. So you can either ask her to stay and talk, or you can say have it your own way. We're going to do have it your own way, because we're going to go for a particular playthrough. So, Intro 5. Ishchaka strings her ornately decorated bow with frightening speed and slams your door on her way out. Remember that Ishchaka left without you. If the investigators gave custody of the relic to Harlan Ernstone, proceed to Intro 6, otherwise skip the setup. Once Ishchaka has left, you consider her words carefully and recall the events that had led to this point. You did not trust Alejandro with the Etzley relic, and you let Ishchaka leave without questioning her. Are you just being paranoid? The investigators must decide. We should be wary of them, in which case you remove all cultist and tablet tokens and replace them with the Elder Thing token. In your campaign log, you record that you are forging your own path. And then for the remainder of the campaign, each investigator cannot include Alejandro Vela or Ishchaka in their deck. Now, the keyword is into their deck. You can still get control of them in some cases. Anytime an investigator would be given the option to include either of them, each investigator earns 2 experience instead. Proceed the setup. Or you can choose, maybe I should have listened to them after all, in which case you give up on forging your own path. So you might have noticed we kind of get various tokens based off who we kind of be nice to. If you're nice to Alejandro, you generally get tablets. If you're nice to Ishchaka, you get cultist. But if you want to do neither, you end up getting Elder Things. So, with that in mind, we get to drop the cultist token, and we get to add an Elder Thing. And we already started with one Elder Thing to begin with. I believe we did. Yes, we did. We started with one. So, we will note that we are forging our own path. Now, despite the extra XP we're going to be getting, forging our own path is actually the most difficult route, which is probably why I didn't do so well when I tried to beat it on my own. But still, I think I prefer it. I do kind of want to do the playthroughs of the other ones eventually, because those are supposedly easier. That being said, it involves every new playthrough means going through Untamed Wilds and Doom of Etzley, which I just don't like doing. Theme-wise, it's great. It's just for first and second scenarios, they're just brutal. Anyway, with that, we'll go ahead and go to setup. All right. Before drawing opening hand, search the collection in each player's deck for Alejandro Vela and Relic of Ages and set them aside out of play. So I will go into the deck and set aside the Relic of Ages. Like so. All right. All right, all the locations are set. We're going to be starting in Riverton, which I believe I already have set up. I do. And then adjust the contents of each act deck as noted in the next column. Okay, so there's a bunch of stuff that's going over, but the module kind of has everything set up here for us. So first is Alejandro has the Vela has the relic, or Harlan Ernstone. Harlan has the relic right now, so we click that one. So that sets that up. This one we get to choose. We can either find Alejandro on our own or go to the police. Neither of these options don't really have any major effect, so I'm going to go with go to the police. Because I think on my playthrough with my group, I think we did on our own. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the police, just to change things up. And then is Chaka left without us? And that's everything. And we'll go more into that in a bit. All right, so go ahead and drag this down here. So here's the thing. This gets all set over here. Shuffle the deck. And Agenda 1A, there are 3 agendas, 3 fates. You have 3 tasks before you and a limited amount of time before the trail goes cold. Where do you search first? As an action, you can resign. You don't want to risk taking too long, so you head to safety with the information you've gathered. 6 doomed to advance. And then there are 3 acts, and we can kind of do any of them in any order. Missing person. Suspecting foul play, you've decided to go to the police and enlist their help in searching for Alejandro. Only investigators in East Town could spend the requisite number of clues as a group to advance. 2 clues to advance. Trial of the Huntress. Ishchaka told you not to follow her, though you can't help but wonder what she is up to. You decide to pursue her as she heads down toward the riverside. Only investigators in Rivertown can spend the requisite number of clues as a group to advance. 4 clues to advance. And then down here is Harlan is in danger. Harlan has custody of the relic, but he believes he is being followed. The last time you heard from him, he was in his office at the university. Only investigators in Miskatonic University can spend the requisite number of clues as a group to advance. 4 clues to advance. So if for the forging our own path, I believe we have to at least get this the Harlan act deck completed. The rest of them you don't have to, but you definitely want to do all of them because it gets you a lot of extra XP and extra rewards. And I need to get as much XP as possible, so in the future I don't have to worry about victory. That's pretty much the plan. So I'm going to go ahead and first fix all my stats because they're wrong. Okay, health and sanity are all set up. Okay, let me put a break here and I'll be right back. Sorry, one thing before I forget. Skull is minus X, where X is the highest number of doom on a cultist enemy. And then we don't really need to worry about cultists or tablets anymore, but I will read them anyway. Cultist is minus 2, and if you do not succeed by at least 1, you take a damage. Tablet is minus 2, and if you do not succeed by at least 1, place 1 doom on the nearest cultist enemy. And then the Elder Thing is minus 2, and if you fail, you lose one of your clues. Thankfully, it's just lose, not drop. Which, I mean, still losing it does delay you. Anyway, let me put a break here. All right, first things first. What is our fate? All right. The lovers. Okay, so this is the one where each investigator, well, in her case, it's just her, searches her deck for an ally asset and removes it from the game. So you only remove 1. Just says remove 1, but it's still costly because now we have 1 less Mr. Rook now. In fact, we can just set this aside. We'll set this aside with Mr. Rook. Mr. Rook, where art thou? Am I blind? I'm blind, aren't I? I literally don't see him. Okay, I had a space. I had a space in the search bar. That was what was breaking it. Yeah, he's right here. Got it. All right, so one of our Mr. Rooks has been removed from the game. At least it made our deck smaller. All right, so we're going to shuffle the deck and resolve Ancestral Knowledge next. As always, we're just going to search the top and go in order. No, 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 no. Yes. 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 And yes. That's an event, right? Yep, that's an event. And yes. Okay. So our 5 cards is Promise Power, Occult Theory, both versions are Perception, and 1 Deduction. So not as much not much of resistance compared to the previous one. All right, shuffling and drawing with our 31 card deck now. All right, starting with 2 segments of Onyx, we're going to tag out the deduction. We'll keep the Grim Memoir, and then draw. Oh my God! I'm. You may think I'm super lucky now, but I'm gonna die in Boundary Beyond. That's what's gonna happen. This is what the cards are laying out for me right now. Starting with all 3 segments of Onyx, that's ridiculous. Okay, all right. That's terrifying. Let's see. I still have this disabled. Good. All right. Deal to orange. All right, starting with a grizzled already. I don't want to start with a grizzled. Don't want to start with that, or that, or that. The rest is okay. Okay, I can live with that. All right, shuffle this one more time, shuffle this one more time, shuffle this one more time, and let's begin. Rivertown, Arkham Central. The banks of Miskatonic River are lined with docks, warehouses, and small shops in a district aptly named Rivertown. All right, just to kind of keep track of things. So we want Miskatonic University is here. This one's East Town, which is here. I'll just put a 2 there to represent that. And this one will be for Alejandro, which is Rivertown, right? Yep. Okay. So this is just to keep track of where I need to be to spend clues and kind of go from there. Rivertown. Did I read the back of it? The banks of Miskatonic River are lined with docks, warehouses, and small shops in a district aptly named Rivertown. And then over here, there's something unsettling about the water of the Miskatonic River. It ripples and bubbles as though something is moving beneath the surface. 1 shroud, 2 clues. Okay. Let's start with. So I want to go towards Miskatonic University and get that started. Let's just do that. I think that's fine. So I'm going to spend 3 resources to go ahead and fast out this Pendant of the Queen. I'm going to go ahead and move from here to here. Miskatonic University. Miskatonic University is one of the most prestigious colleges in the Northeast. The university library is famous for its collection of occult books maintained by the esteemed Dr. Henry Armitage. One thing I could have also considered is the Curiosity Shop, because I know going there it makes relics cheaper. But for the sake of this, I just want to get the relics out as soon as possible. 4 shroud, 4 clues. Action: search the top 6 cards of your deck for a tome or spell card and add it to your hand. Shuffle your deck. The campus is quiet and lonely. Several of the buildings have been left unlocked for students and faculty working late into the night. Victory 1. So that was our first action. I'm going to go ahead and investigate, and I'll use Ancestral Knowledge, and I'm going to go ahead and grab this Perception. And commit it. This will put us at 8 to 4. Minus 2, so that puts us at 6 to 4, so we do pass by 2, so I draw 2 cards. And we get 1 clue. All right. All right. Next, I'm going to go ahead and investigate. And I'm going to spend 1 to go ahead and do Practice Makes Perfect. And I will go ahead and use my ability to search top 9 and pick 2 cards that are practiced. All right, triggered my Shocking Discovery. The secret must be kept. Peril. Test Willpower 3. If you fail, take 1 damage, 1 horror. For each act deck and the investigators have completed, this skill test gets +1 difficulty and deals +1 damage and +1 horror if it has failed. So yeah, if you have 2 of these completed, it becomes a 5 test, and it does 3 and 3. It's super dangerous. Doing it now, though, is not as bad, so I will go ahead and do it. So we'll go 3 to 3. We actually passed. Man, how many times have I done a equal test and actually passed with Mandy? It's ridiculous. All right. So the good news is we got rid of the weakness, got rid of that card for a while. So that's good. I am going to go ahead and use Pin to the Queen to grab a clue from this location. Oh, actually, sorry. I need to resolve the investigate first. So I'll investigate. I'll resolve the investigate first. I am currently 5 to 4, and yeah, I'm okay with that. Just do 5 to 4. And unfortunately, I do lose one of my clues, and then I get a clue. All right, not the end of the world. We'll go with Rita next. By the end of this, this needs to be fixed. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to go ahead and spin 2 to get out a hunting jacket, exhaust it, put this down on it, and gain a resource. And then I'm going to spin 3 to get out Pete Sylvester. And last action, I will go ahead and investigate this location. 2 to 1. Fail, and I don't have any clues to lose. That's why I did it. All right. Upkeep. Okay. Okay. Mythos. First doom. Nobody's home. Attach to your location. If there's no clues on this location, nobody's home gains surge. Spend 1 additional action to investigate attached location. If there are no clues on attached location, discard nobody's home. Okay. Noted. And then over here, Brotherhood Cultist. Hunter. Brotherhood Cultist gets +1 fight, +1 evade for each doom on it. When you initiate an attack against Brotherhood Cultist, place 1 doom on Brotherhood Cultist. So what's kind of nice about Rita is she can get damage through evading. So I don't actually put doom on this thing. It does hit with 1 horror. It's 2/2, 3 humanoid cultist. But yeah, otherwise this guy is actually really annoying, especially if you ever auto fail, because he's just going to get stronger and push the agenda. All right, investigation phase. I'll start with Mandy. I don't have. So it costs an extra action to grab anything from this. What I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to activate the ability here, search top 6. I'll use my ability to make it top 9 for a tome asset. It was a whiff on the tome, but I did find an occult evidence, which I will reveal, and use that to grab a clue from this location. Okay, and this will go into my hand. Next, I will spend a clue, or spend a charge here to grab a clue from this location, and this will go away. Okay. Next, I'm going to go ahead and gain a resource and then spend them to go ahead and get out my Grim Memoir. So unfortunately, I'm one clue short of actually doing the Harlan stuff. So I need to go get clues elsewhere. In the meantime, I'll go ahead and go with Rita. Rita is going to go ahead and evade. We'll go 6 to 2. We succeed. I will use my ability to do a damage. And be good to go here. Alright, I am going to go ahead and exhaust Hunting Jacket and put one of these down, get 2 resources. And then I'm going to spend 3 resources to get Dirty Fighting out. And then I'm going to go ahead and investigate this location, 2 to 1. We succeed, we get 1 clue. So if I can get Rita over there, she can get we can trigger that. Because I'd rather trigger that first before dealing with Rivertown nonsense. Alright. Enemy phase, enemy ain't doing nothing. Upkeep. And upkeep. Okay. Mythos. Second Doom. This guy re-engages. Acolytes. Any empty location. After Acolyte enters play, place 1 Doom on him. I guess the question is, where do we put him? Let's we'll put him over there. And then for you, Hunting Shadow, you must either spend 1 clue or take 2 damage. I will take 2 damage. I'm going to go ahead and put both damage on the Hunting Jacket. And then these go back into my hand. Investigation phase. I'm going to go ahead and start with Rita. I'm going to do I'm done running. And then I'm going to do a evasion 6 to 2 on the Brotherhood Cultist with a long shot. I succeed. So instead of disengaging and all that good stuff, I'm just going to do a damage, and then the long shot, since I succeeded, I will also do a damage and kill it. And then I'll use my ability to move over 1 location. And then I'm going to move on over to here. Actually, before I move on over, I will go ahead and grab a clue. I'll try to grab a clue. I'll go 2 to 1. That's a fail, and I lose a clue. Actually, I'm an idiot. I'm a goddamn idiot. So first of all, I moved. I shouldn't have been able to investigate. So I'm just going to go with that because it doesn't make any sense otherwise. So first action was literally the evade. I killed the guy and I moved with this. I can't do the investigate and do the move at the same time. So it would not make sense. So I move over to here. I will go ahead and spend the 4 clues to advance this. Apparently this thing is not wanting to stay where it needs to be. There we go. Weird. Okay. Alright, we're just going to do it like this. Because you're driving me crazy. Oh, that's because I know the reason why. Never mind. Harlan Ernston, historical theorist, put Harlan Ernston into play in Easttown. Action, discard the top 3 cards of your deck. Parlay, you try to snap Ernston out of his daze. Test willpower 4. If you succeed, place 1 clue on him from the token pool. When you find him, Harlan is babbling incoherently and won't respond to anything you say. Harlan's curse. There is no sign of Harlan in his office, but one of the assistants in the administration building informs you that he took the day off and went to his home in Easttown. If there are 2 clues on Harlan Ernston, you must immediately remove them and immediately advance. All right. So I evaded, moved with my ability. Okay, yeah, this is okay. Sorry, I was just misunderstanding what I was doing. So yeah, my plan was to get to this acolyte and kill it, and that's what I wanted to do. Okay, but for some reason I forgot that I had used my ability to move, and that's actually free. So I'm going to go ahead and move after I did that to Northside. Northside is a commercial district that contains many offices and factories, as well as the train station. Action, spend 5 resources, gain 2 clues from the token pool, group limit once per game, 3 shroud, 4 clues. In Northside, nothing gets people talking faster than a bit of dough, victory 1. Get engaged by you, and then for my last action, I'm going to evade him 6 to 2. It's just -1, and I'm done running, so I'll choose to do 1 damage and kill him. Okay, sorry for that mix-up. And even if I took that token that I misdrew earlier, the elder thing, I still would have passed with -2 there with the evade. Anyway, sorry about all of that. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and I will spend 1 to go ahead and fast out the magnifying glass, and then I will move to Northside. We don't need to worry about this anymore. I mean, I guess we can also put it here to represent that's the first deck. Okay. All right, so I move over to here. I'm going to go ahead and investigate this location using the Grim Memoir. This will put us at 8 to 3. Actually, before we do that, I'm going to go ahead and use Pin to the Queen. And shuffle these segment of Onyxes back in. And I'll grab this clue here. And now do it. All right, so 8 to 3. We pass. That was 6 to 3, so I pass by 3. I draw 1 card and get a clue. Let's try that again, shall we? There we go. Okay. Next, I will go ahead and investigate again using Grim Memoir and commit a deduction. Good to go. We'll get 2 clues and draw a card. Perfect. All right, that is everybody. No enemies on the board. Upkeep. Segment of Onyx. Chair's Keepsake. Mythos, we're now 3rd Doom. Conspiracy of Blood. We might deal with that. Okay, attach Conspiracy of Blood, Hex, attach Conspiracy of Blood to the current agenda. Attached agenda gets -1 Doom threshold. Each cultist enemy gains action, parlay, willpower 4. If you succeed, discard 1 copy of Conspiracy of Blood from play. If you fail, place 1 Doom on this enemy. So this is essentially the closest thing to a Ancient Evils for this one. I am going to go ahead and spin 1 and take 1 Horror to Ward of Protection that, so we don't have to deal with it. Because the only thing about this is the only way to get rid of it is if a cultist are on the field, which right now I've already killed 2 of them. 1 did spawn, but it's better to play it safe. Anyway, investigation phase. Let's go ahead and take Mandy here, and we're just going to go north. To the Curiosity Shop. North side is connected to the Curiosity Shop. Owned by Oliver Thomas, the self-styled Curiosity Shop in Northside is an unusual store. On display in the front window is a collection of odd trinkets, a brass coal scuttle, a perambulator, an antique globe, and a model sailing ship, to name just a few. Alright, so this place, it's connected, of course, 2 shroud, 4 clues. While you are in the Curiosity Shop, reduce the cost of each relic you play by 2. A brass bell clangs as you push open the front door. Inside the shop is dusty and disorganized. Inspecting the unusual wares on display causes your the hair on your arms to stand on end. Alright, since it reduces the cost of my relics, I'll go ahead and fast out this segment of Onyx. I am going to go ahead and investigate using Grim Memoir, and I will go ahead and use Ancestral Knowledge to get out the other deduction. And go 7, 8, 9 to 2. We succeed by a bunch. We'll go ahead and get 2 clues and draw a card from the Grim Memoir. Okay, last action, I will go ahead and investigate with Grim Memoir and go 8 to 2. We succeed, we get 1 clue. We succeeded by 4, so I'll go ahead and draw a card. And that'll be it for Mandy Thompson. Alright, meanwhile, here with Rita. I am going to go ahead and evade 6 to 2. I succeed. I will use my ability to do a damage. I will spend an action to go ahead. So I could do dirty fighting, but it will put doom on him, and I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and play a Chair's Keepsake. And I'm going to go ahead and just gain a resource for my final action. Alright. Enemy phase, nothing going on. Upkeep. Alright, got our other segment of Onyx. We're getting really lucky with the segment of Onyxes, which is making this go a lot faster. Actually, so far in all our scenarios, we've started with nearly all of our segment of Onyxes. It's been kind of ridiculous, and I'm all for it. So for Doom, this guy's going to re-engage. On Wings of Darkness, test foot 4. If you fail, take 1 damage in 1 horde, then disengage from each non-Night Gaunt enemy engaged with you and move to a central location. A Night Gaunt swoops down from the sky and grabs you with its clawed hands, carrying you off into the night. So I'm currently 3 to 4, and I think I'm just going to stay like that. But I do kind of want to stay. Yeah, let's go ahead and let's go ahead and promise him power. 7 to 4. We pass. And then over here, Mysterious Chanting. Place 2 Doom on the nearest cultist enemy. That would be this guy. That's a problem. He now has 4 evade. Alright. Yeah, that's going to be a problem. I will start with Mandy. First, I'll fast out the segment of Onyx for free. I can go 6 to 2 here, so I will. 6 to 2, investigate. I'll actually use Ancestral Knowledge and get out the Perception and use it. I succeed, I draw a card, and get 1 clue. Okay, so we got the clue here. I'm going to go ahead and move down to join Mandy here, or join Rita here. And for my last action, I'm just going to draw a card. Okay. Alright, Rita. Rita, I want you to try to evade 6 to 4. We'll go ahead and commit this Eureka. So it'll be 7 to 4. We succeed just barely. Eureka does let her search the top 3 and pick a card. Also, when an investigator at your location would search their deck and our counter deck, I'll actually use her ability because otherwise it's going to be wasted anyway. So 2 cards instead of 1. We'll grab this Sweeping Kick and this Meat Cleaver. And we shuffle that hoods to the bottom. Alright, so he's evaded. I'll use my ability to get that damage on there. And then I'm going to... So if I fight him, it's going to be 5 to 5. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and use the Dirty Fighting to go 5 to 5, because he's going to get another Doom. And I'll commit this Occult Evidence. So it's going to be 6 to 5. I'll go ahead and use a Lucky to pass and do another damage and kill this guy. Alright. One second. Okay, yeah, you can always commit 1 card. It's not a limit 1 per turn or anything like that. It's just 1 per test. So we're good to go on that. That was a kill with the Dirty Fighting, which is good. I'm going to go ahead and spend this opportunity to go ahead and spend 3 to get out my Meat Cleaver. And then I'm going to spend an action moving. Over to downtown. The downtown area of Arkham is filled with government buildings, including City Hall, the First Bank of Arkham, Independence Square, and Arkham Asylum can also be found in this area. It is the busiest district in the city. Action, gain 3 resources, limit once per game. We'll call this a loan. 3 shroud, 2 clues. Okay. That is everybody. Go to enemies. There are no enemies. Go to upkeep. And Mythos. 5th Doom. Advances on 6, right? Yep. Secrets must be kept. All right, we're 3-3 again. I'll just do the 3 and 3. This time I do... Actually, no, there are no cultists. There's no Doom on any cultist here. So I actually pass again, just barely. Over here. Nobody's home. Gets applied here, which is fine. All right, investigation phase. All right, for Rita... Okay, yeah, for Rita, I'm going to go ahead and draw a card. And then I'm going to investigate this location. We'll go 2 to 3. I'll commit, or actually no, it requires 2 actions to do that. Never mind. Instead, I'm going to go ahead and activate this location and gain 3 resources. We'll just put a damage on it to represent that it's been done for at least one person. Actually, no, I don't want the resources anyway. Nope, we don't need it. Instead, I'm just going to draw another card. Okay. And then last action, we're just going to go ahead and move down to here. Easttown. The Easttown neighborhood, situated on the northern banks of the Miskatonic River, contains lower-class housing, the Arkham police station, and popular eateries like Velma's Diner. 2 clues. While you're in Easttown, reduce the cost of each ally asset you play by 2. How helpful. All right, we're going to go ahead and move twice with Mandy to get down to here. How are we on clues? We have 8. So we have more than enough for this. All right, I'm going to go ahead and spend 4 clues to go ahead and advance this. The Trial of the Huntress. Ishaka told you not to follow her, though you can't help but wonder. Yeah, I already read this. Okay, Black Cave. And this was at what? Easttown? Or Rivertown? Oh, sorry, you have to spend it in Rivertown. Never mind. I'm not in Rivertown. I got mixed up. Easttown. This is the one we want to spend. So I need to take back 2 clues. Sorry about that. It only costs 2 clues to advance this one. Missing persons. Okay, Arkham Police Station. Put Arkham Police Station into play. Easttown is connected to Arkham Police Station. Good stuff. Action, search the top 6 cards of your deck for a weapon card and add it to your hand. Shuffle your deck. 3 Shroud, 4 clues, victory 1. And then over here, at the station, the police station might be open in the public in theory, but getting your story heard by proper authorities requires a bit more finesse than you imagine. Only investigators in the Arkham Police Station can spend the requisite number of clues as a group to advance. Technically, I have enough, though I obviously have a lot of other things I want to do, like get all the victory off this thing. Okie dokie. And just to make sure I didn't go have a lapse of sanity, yes, this is Easttown. Okay, we did this correctly. This thing is being a pill. Yep, this is being a pill. This is really annoying. Okay, I can't get the clues off this thing. Alright, well, I'm pretty sure this is... Okay, it seems to be okay. Yeah, the weird sticky clues is throwing me off there. Anyway, that was my 2 actions. I still have an action remaining. I'll just go ahead and move over to the Arkham Police Station and get that going. I'm going to go ahead and fast out Knowledge's Power. Actually, do we want to do a Knowledge's Power? Yeah, that's okay. I'll do Knowledge's Power, Grim Memoir. This will put us at 6, 7, 8 to 3. We pass, I'll get a clue and draw a card. Okay, hello, Mr. Rook. I might want to come back and put you out. All right. Enemy phase, no enemies. Upkeep. Practice makes perfect. Upkeep. There's hoods. All right. They do count as a cultist. All right. We advance. At the sun's peak, the town is bustling as noon comes and goes. University students travel from class to class. Business people take breaks from their busy office lives. And in Easttown, Velma's Diner is abuzz with the lunch rush. Despite this veil of normality, the curtain has been lifted. You see this town for what it really is, an endless mire of secrets. Shuffle the encounter discard pile into the encounter deck. If there are only 2 decks in play, place 1 Doom on Agenda 2 as it is revealed. Well, we still have all 3, so we don't have to worry about that much. But we do have to worry about the rest of it. Behind the curtain, this conspiracy runs deeper, much deeper than you had imagined. The more time you spend investigating these mysteries, the more you come to realize they are linked to one another. At the center of these secrets is an enigmatic organization manipulating events behind the scenes. Action, resign. You don't want to risk taking too long, so you head to safety with the information you've gathered. Shuffle one more time, and let's continue. Shadowed. If there are no cultist enemies in play, take 1 horror and against search. Otherwise, find the cultist enemy nearest you, place 1 Doom on that enemy, and test Willpower X, where X is the enemy's fight value. If you fail, take 2 horror. This thing is a cultist. So, Willpower X. This thing has 3 fight, so I'm Willpower 3 versus 3, and if I fail, I take 2 horror. I'm going to go ahead and let's go ahead and exhaust the ancestral knowledge. I'm going to go ahead and grab this occult theory and commit to it, because I don't really want to lose 2 horror, take 2 horror. We'll go 8 to 3. I pass. We're good to go. And then for you, Hunting Night Gaunt. 3 fight, 1 evade, 4 health, Monster Night Gaunt, Hunter. While attempting to evade Hunting Night Gaunt, double the negative modifier of each revealed Chaos token. They have no faces at all to smile with, but only a suggestive blankness where a face ought to be. Okay. All right. Our hands are a little full right now. Okay. So I think the big thing is dealing with the hoods and getting them off the board. I think that'll be our best option. All right, so let's start with Rita. Rita, I'm going to go ahead and spend 1 and do Sweeping Kick to the hoods. So this is going to put us at 9 to 3. I'm going to draw the autofail. I did it. I do 2 damage, and then I'll use my ability to do another damage. I do still technically successfully, I do still evade him, so I will take 1 and 1. Like so. But he is now dead, and I never have to deal with him again. Next, I need to deal with Hunting Night Gaunt. I'm going to go ahead and attempt to evade. Right now we're 6 to 1. I'm going to go Resourceful to make it 7 to 1. All right, -0 doubled is still 0, so I succeed. He is now evaded. My Resourceful was successful. And I can search for a Survivor card and put it into my hand. Let's take the Hunting Jacket. Is it really any? Yeah, any Survivor card, not named Resourceful. Yeah, I'll take it. Put it in my hand. And shuffle. I'll go ahead and... Oh, sorry, I didn't need to shuffle that. Well, whatever. It doesn't make a difference. I don't know what the card order is. Dirty Fighting, I'll activate and punch this Night Gaunt. I'm 5... I can, let's see, take a fight action against the enemy. So as long as it's a fight action, I can use the Meat Cleaver. So this will put me at 6 to 3. I do... I will go ahead and take a horror and put on Pete to do 2 damage. And last action, I am going to go ahead and spin 2 to get out the Hunting Jacket. And then I'm going to exhaust it to put down Expeditious Retreat and get 1 resource. Awesome. Alright, meanwhile, over here, as much as I would love to go over to save some resources, I think I'm just going to spend them at right now. guess the other question is, what do we have left on practice cards? Not much. So I can guarantee get the Segment of Onyx. That much is true. I can guarantee get the Segment of Onyx. Oh, I have a solution for all this. Okay. First action, I'm going to spend 3 to go ahead and do Mr. Rook. I'll go ahead and search top 9 cards and pick 2 with my ability. Segment of Onyx is 1. The other is going to be this Knowledge is Power. And shuffle. I'm going to go ahead and do a Burning the Midnight Oil. Gain 2 resources and investigate. We're going to be 6 to 3. I'll commit it in Rapture to make it 7 to 3. I do pass, and I get to search top 3, and I get a secret back, which I'll put on Mr. Rook. Search top 3. I will take the Eureka, and I also, of course, get a clue. Then I'm going to Knowledge is Power, my Grim Memoir. So this is going to make it 8 to 3. I succeed by a lot. I get 1 clue and draw a card. Then I'm going to fast out the Segment of Onyx and get this out again. And then I am going to go ahead and do Pendant of the Queen to grab a clue. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to go ahead and spin 4 clues to advance this. And Shadow Talons. None of the police officers have seen Alejandro, and they don't seem interested in helping you find him. It's only been a couple of days. He'll turn up, they say. They give excuses, trying to avoid filling out a report. Finally, just as you are about to leave in frustration, a homeless man being held for disorderly contact grabs your elbow. I saw him, he drawls. The man you described, I saw him in the sky, carried in its clutches. He describes a faceless, winged creature, while the officers nearby chuckle and roll their eyes. The man is clearly drunk, but it could it be he's telling the truth? Search the encounter deck and discard pile and victory display for a hunting night gaunt, and spawn it in the location farthest from all investigators. Heal all damage from each hunting night gaunt in play. Well, I tried. Oh, sorry, I was also supposed to heal a horror at the end of Rita's turn. So I have to get out the other hunting night gaunt. And is it spawn it at the location furthest from all investigators? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, well, either way, it sucks. All right, we'll spawn you here then. Attach the set-aside Alejandro Vela and to the hunting night gaunt farthest from all investigators. Oh boy. I guess I've never done this one. All right. You believe you have discovered the identity of Alejandro's kidnapper. Now you must fight to rescue your companion. Alejandro's plight. While Alejandro is attached to the enemy, he gets plus 4 health. So this thing has 8 health. We're going to be busy. All right. At least we have something we can do with Rita, I guess. I still have actions remaining. So we're just going to move over 1. All right, because we got some things we need to do. All right, enemy phase. I guess the good news is this thing does still do hunt moves. So oh, actually, it needs to go up here. Sorry about that. Okay. Enemy phase. He'll move down to here. All right. This guy will re-engage, which I'm fine with. Upkeep. Upkeep. Okay, got a sweeping kick. That's good. Alright, Mythos, first doom of the second agenda. Locked door, location with the most clues without a locked door attached. We'll put it over here with the other thing. Words of power. Put words of power into play in your threat area. If there are one or more enemies at your location with doom on them, you cannot damage those enemies or discover clues at your location. So right now it doesn't do anything bad, but it's going to be in the way in the future. All right, investigation phase. Let's go ahead and start with Rita here. I'm going to go ahead and exhaust the hunting jacket, and I'm going to go ahead and do. I want to go ahead and put take heart in here and gain 2 resources. I'm then going to go ahead and evade this guy, going 6 to 1. And I will go ahead and commit a resourceful, so it's 7 to 1. Yeah, that's fine. We pass. We'll use our ability to do a damage. And then I will follow up with a dirty fighting and well, before I do that, resolve the resourceful. I'm going to take the long shot. Actually, we will take the lucky. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and take a horror to attack with the meat cleaver. And attack with the dirty fighting, so it's going to be 5-6 to 3. We succeed. We'll do 2 damage. I'm going to go ahead and attack with the cleaver again. This time not spending the horror. It's going to be 6 to 3. Good to go. It's dead. And then last action, I'm going to go ahead and just gain a resource. Okay. Meanwhile, over here, Mandy, I'm going to go ahead and spin 2 to get out sound support. Next action, discard the top 3 cards of your deck to try to snap this guy out of parlay. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and mill the top 3 cards of our deck. And then I'm going to go ahead and use this Ancestral Knowledge. Ooh, actually, we'll wait on that. We'll do Occult Theory. 8 to 4. We pass. We put 1 clue on him. We'll put this on him to represent that he's being dragged around. Because this is what, 2 or 3? Did I mix up? Oh, sorry, that should be 3, not 2. I tried to do this number system and I failed miserably. Okay. So we got a clue on him. That's good. We'll go ahead and do it one more time. This time, we will go ahead and do the thing here. Ancestral Knowledge. Put this back in here. So it's going to be 7 to 4. We passed just barely, just making sure. Yeah, plus 4, 7, brings it down to 4, and I passed barely. Also, I need to mill the top 3 cards again. Bye-bye, Pathfinder. Okay, so that gets the second clue, which I'm just going to go ahead and throw that away and resolve this now. Harlan's Curse. Safekeeping. Harlan finally snaps out of his daze, returning to his normal self. He tells you that he was accosted by several figures in brown robes who asked him where he kept the relic. They used some kind of hypnotism to pry the knowledge from him by force. He had no choice but to tell the truth. That he brought the relic to the curiosity shop and gave it to one of his associates. If you make haste, perhaps you can reach the relic before the brown robe figures do. Okay. Interesting. So I just want to check something real quick. Oh, okay, I see. It's decided at random. Okay, I understand. So yeah, the randomize is sometimes instead of him snapping out at it like this, sometimes he just goes berserk and you have to deal with him that way. So this actually works out in my favor. All right, so attach the set-aside Relic of Ages to the Curiosity Shop. Okay. That'll probably be this one, but there's one in here too. Sure, we'll put it up here. If there are 2 or fewer Act decks in play, search the encounter deck for 1 Acolyte. 2 Acolytes if there are 3 or 4 investigators in the game. Spawn each search for Acolyte at the Curiosity Shop, and then you go to find the relic. Find the relic. You believe you have discovered the relic's whereabouts. Now you must scour this place from bottom to top in order to find it. While the Relic of Ages is attached to the location, that location gets +2 Shroud. If the Relic of Ages is attached to a location with no remaining clues, you advance. Alright, so real quick. Put in the Curiosity Shop, it doesn't say anything about re-adding clues. Okay, so we advance. The relic is found. If the Relic of Ages is attached to the Curiosity Shop, sure enough, the relic is tucked away in the corner of the shop's storage room, hidden from sight. The investigator nearest the Curiosity Shop takes control of the Relic of Ages. Remove it from the AB. Remove the remainder of the AB act from the game. If another act card is in play, continue playing. Otherwise, resolution 1. Okay, so yeah, with that we can we have one of the acts completely done now. So one of them's done. Good times had by all. Real quick. You must remove them and immediately advance. Okay. Well, he just kind of hangs out, doesn't he? Doesn't say to remove him, so he's just kind of here. But we'll go ahead and remove the horror because we don't need to care about him anymore. So the closest investigator is a tie, so I'll just have Mandy Thompson hold on to this. And that actually puts us in a pretty good spot. Because now we have that taken care of. We've made no progress with Trial of the Huntress, though, but we can make that work. That is everything. Yeah, I moved... I played sound support and then did 2 parlays. Okay, we're good to go. Enemy phase. He's a-coming. God, this guy's going to be brutal. 8 health, hunting Night Gaunt. Alright, upkeep. And upkeep. Also, I should have healed 1 horror. And there's my Overzealous. I'm glad I didn't draw a card earlier. Hunting Shadow. I have to take the 2 damage. I'll put it on the hunting jacket. And then it surges into a Nobody's Home, which will be put here. That was actually pretty mild. Mythos. Second Doom. This... I don't know which one I grabbed, but whatever. This is the correct one, right? Yeah, they're all the same. Okay, Mythos. We already got the second Doom. Let's draw. Sorry if you're hearing the cat slurping away. This will be engaged with us. And we got an Acolyte. Okay, the Acolyte is a problem that we need to deal with. One or more enemies at your location with Doom. Okay, well, I'm okay with that for now. I'm just wondering how I'm going to handle this. We definitely need to deal with What's-His-Face sooner than later. But I also need to deal with this Acolyte. So, Brotherhood Cultist and all that nonsense. Alright. So the Brotherhood Cultist is actually really bad with Word of Power, because obviously if you attack, bad things happen. We'll start with Mandy. I have no deck to search. So I'm going to go ahead and Lightning Bolt, Pin to the Queen, auto-evade this guy. I'll go ahead and spend 2 actions to get rid of the Word of Power. And then I mean, that guy's not going to do much. If I can just punch that guy, like give him a good wallop, that would be the way to solve this issue. Problem is I don't have a deck to search right now. He does what, 1 horror? Okay. Alright, I'm just going to move over to here and get engaged by this guy. For now, we're okay. When we shuffle through the deck, I'll have to get through my weakness, but other than that, I should be able to go to town. Also, I can go ahead and spend the clues here, so I'll spend them. I have 4. Alright, 4 clues. And then we flip this one over. Okay. Put it into play. Yeah, connected to Rivertown. 3 Shroud, 4 clues. At the end of the turn, if you are in Black Cave, you must either take 1 horror or choose and discard 2 cards from your hand. Victory 1. Okay. The Cave of Darkness. You watch this Taka enter this abandoned cave on her own. What is she doing in such a strange place? Only investigators in the Black Cave can spend the requisite number of clues as a group to advance. There must be no clues remaining on the Black Cave in order to advance this act. So you have to clear all the clues and be there to advance. That's fine. That is it for that. Let's go ahead and get to work on... Actually, I guess this should be 2. You're right, because E is higher than C. Whatever. Either way, I'm already keeping track of this nonsense. Rita. We have some work to do. Want to go and get engaged with this hunting night gaunt? The only way we know how, with violence. Alright. Next, I'm going to go ahead and spend 1 to do a sweeping kick. This will be a 9 to 3. We succeed. We'll do 2 damage from the sweeping kick. My ability will do another 1. And we auto-evade. And since I just evaded an enemy, I can go ahead and trigger my Dirty Fighting and fight with the Meat Cleaver. I will go ahead and put a horror on Pete Sylvester. And this will be 6 to 3. We succeed, does 2 damage. Then I'm going to go ahead and take a swing again. Go 6 to 3, no other modifiers. Good to go, does another damage. Okay. Enemy phase, I'm going to get hit for 1 damage from this guy. Upkeep, this guy's going to re-engage. This guy's going to wake up. I'm going to take a horror from shuffling through the deck, which I'll put on sound support. Out of Crossroads is going to trigger. I'm going to go ahead and, what is the order of operations for this? Reset actions, draw card, gain resource. Got it. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and evade this guy for my action. I'll go 6 to 1. So that's going to be so it does double everything. So it's going to be a total of -6, putting me at 0 to 1. But I'll go ahead and lucky it to pass. Get rid of the curse token. I'll use my ability to do 1 damage. All my stuff has refreshed again, so I will go ahead and exhaust Dirty Fighting to fight. And we'll go and use the Meat Cleaver and go 6. Also, at the end of my turn, I should have healed 1 from Pete. 6 to 3. That's a success. It does 1 damage. It kills him. Alright. If the enemy Alejandro Vela is attached to, leaves play, advance. Alejandro is rescued. If Alejandro was attached to a hunting night gaunt, Alejandro collapses to the ground along with the winged creature's body. He coughs and rises to his feet and shaking. That beast, it had me in its clutches. Who knows where it was taking me? The investigator nearest the hunting night gaunt takes control of Alejandro Vala. remove the remainder of the CD deck, and if there's another act, keep going. All right, so there's only one act left in play. Now the bad part is this does take an ally slot. So unfortunately, I am going to end up losing Pete Sylvester. But you get +1 skill value while investigating an ancient location. Yeah, you're useless, Alejandro. That's okay. And then I have to discard a random card because of Outer Crossroads. I lost a Expeditious Retreat, which is fine. Okay. What a day. Mythos. 4 out of 6. Shadowed. If there are no cultist enemies in play, take 1 horror. Otherwise, find the cultist nearest to you. Gets a Doom. And then I have to do a test. It's going to be 3 to 3. And if I fail, I take 2 horror. I'll commit an existential riddle and a Eureka, so this will be 5 to 3. Good luck. We pass. Don't know how I feel about that. All right, just making sure. Yeah, I passed. Cool. All right, we'll resolve the Eureka first. I'll use my ability and grab 2 cards instead of just 1. Okay, I will grab Deny Existence and a Ward of Protection. Shuffle. And then for the Elder Sign effect, I'll go ahead and trigger that as well. Search top 3. I will go ahead and reveal the Occult Evidence to grab a clue from here, just because I can, and put this in my hand. And I will grab this Occult Theory. Alright, your card. On Wings of Darkness, test foot 4. If you fail, take 1 damage and 1 horror, then disengage from each Nightgaunt enemy engaged with you and move to a central location. I am 5 to 4. I'm just going to test it normally. I fail. I take 1 and 1, which I will put on Alejandro because he deserves it. And it teleports me to a central location, which is conveniently where I need to go. Alright, investigation phase. Alright, so fortunately my dirty fighting and my ability is currently actually, did I misread that? So that ability is once per round. Okay, so sorry, I need to rewind. I couldn't use my ability with that because it's per round, not based off the... as far as I can tell, it's not based off the upkeep. I think I made that mistake before. But what I could have done instead is I could have put a horror on Pete Sylvester instead, and just done an extra damage with the Meat Cleaver. So I still would have been able to do the dirty fighting, that's fine. But that does mean I have this ability active now. So, with that in mind, let's get to work. I'm going to start with Rita Young. Engage this Acolyte, and then evade him. I'll go 5 to 3, or sorry, 5 to 2. We succeed. There's no limit to my ability now. I'll use it to do 1 damage and kill this guy off. Alright. And then, last action. Last action, we're just going to move away. Let's see if we can lure this guy away. Alright, Bandy. I'll go ahead and heal a horror off the sound support. I am going to go ahead and use Pendant of the Queen now to go ahead and reshuffle these back in and grab a clue from this location. Alright, next I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and search top 9. But not use this ability because I already used it. Search top 9. Trigger my Shocking Discovery, which is what I wanted to happen. Words of Power. I'm fine with having that for now. All right, next I'm going to go ahead and move down into the depths. And I'm going to go ahead and start investigating. I'm going to go ahead and investigate using a Burning the Midnight Oil, gain 2 resources. And then I'm spending one of those resources, do Practice Makes Perfect, search top 9. I'll pick Deduction. This will put us at 6, 7 to 3. Pass, I get 2 clues. This deduction will go into my hand, and then I will investigate one more time. I'll commit a perception and go 9 to 3. We succeed, we get 1 clue. Draw 2 cards. I'll fast out this segment of Onyx, and then I will spend 2, 3, 4 to spend the clues here. Only investigators, spend the clues. We're good to go. Tunnels in the dark. You track Ishaka throughout the cave, echoing her movements closely while remaining hidden. She traverses the cavern with the expertise of a natural explorer, discovering paths you hadn't noticed at first. To your surprise, the dark tunnels ramp upwards, taking you closer to the surface. You hear Ishaka open and close something metallic up ahead. When you catch up, you find a heavy iron grate above you, leading into the basement of a building north of the cave's entrance. Put the set-aside town hall into play if it is not already in play. Remember that the town hall is Ishaka's destination. For the remainder of the game, Black Cave and Town Hall are connected to one another. One at a time in player order, each investigator discards the top card of the encounter deck. Each investigator who discards a treachery must draw that card. Alright, so let's get that Town Hall out. So the Town Hall is actually connected to downtown, and it's also connected to the Black Cave. Alright. I'll start in player order, so discard the top card of the encounter deck. It's not a treachery. And then for Rita, secret must be kept. Okay, well, it's a difficulty 5 check now. So she is 3 to 5. I'll commit a take heart. I fail, so I'm going to gain 2 resources and draw 2 cards. And then I have to take 3 damage and 3 horror. Like so. Alright. Resolved. Okay. And then... good on that front. Okay, strange occurrences. Ishaka has found the target of her investigation. The trail of the mysterious cult leads here. A thorough search of the area may reveal more. While you are at Ishaka's destination, the first treachery you draw from the encounter deck each round gains surge. If there are no clues remaining on each of Ishaka's destinations, advance. So we need to get into this location. Town Hall. Arkham's Town Hall is a quiet, unassuming building near Independence Square. A small clock tower protrudes from the sloped rooftop. The numbers faded from years of disrepair. So what does this say again? The first treachery card. So if it's not a treachery, it doesn't surge. That being said, I've done everything I can. I've moved down here and I investigated twice. So, and I used the pendant. So yeah, that is it on that front. I either take a horror or discard 2 cards from my hand. I'm completely okay with deny existing. Actually, it has to be from my counter card. Never mind. Never you mind. So I'll take a horror on this. Yeah, I'll just take a horror. That's completely fine by me. So, that is everything on that front. Enemy phase, this guy's going to move over. Upkeep. Knowledge is power. I do need to discard, regardless. Let's discard a occult evidence. And then over here, upkeep. We got Bum Rush. Mythos, 4th Doom out of 6. Mysterious Chanting. I'm going to spend 1 and take a horror to prevent that. It does still surge, regardless. And then I get Secret Must Be Kept. Great. I'll commit a Occult Theory. This will make me 8 to 5. And I pass. Much better than the alternative. All right. And then over... Yeah, I still have to draw extra stuff regardless. Okay. And then for you, false lead. If you have no clues, it surges. Surges. And alkalite. We'll put them over here because I have to. All right, investigation. All right. Got quite a bit of things to do. Let's start with... Let's go ahead and start with Mandy. I'm gonna move. I'm gonna heal a horror off of this, and then move down to Town Hall. Yeah, Arkham's Town Hall is. I don't remember if I read this. Town Hall is a quiet, unassuming building near Independence Square. A small clock tower protrudes from the sloped rooftop. The numbers faded from years of disrepair. Cool. All right. Downtown is connected to Town Hall. After you enter Town Hall, if you have 4 or more cards in your hand, choose and discard cards from your hand until you have 3 cards in hand. All right. There you go. This is after you enter. Okay. Victory 1, 2 clues. Any other things I need to worry about this? As far as I can tell, it doesn't add any clues to this. All right. Operation Murder. So I'm going to go ahead and do Knowledge is Power. I'm going to reveal the Grim Memoir in my hand. So this is going to put us at 6, 7, 8 to 4. I'll commit a deduction and make it 9 to 4. I succeed. I get both clues. I'll go ahead and discard the Grim Memoir so I can draw a card. But more importantly, if there are no clues remaining on each of Ishchaka's destinations, which we have resolved, we advance. Uncovered the conspiracy. If Ishchaka's destination was Town Hall. For some reason, the tunnels connect to a hidden passage in the basement of Arkham's Town Hall. You find Ishchaka in a dark room, browsing through several maps of the city. "What are you doing here?" she asks accusingly. "No matter. You're here now. Help me read these documents and figure out what is going on." The investigator nearest to the Town Hall takes control of the set-aside Ishchaka, remove the remainder of the EF deck from the play, and we go to Resolution 1. So yeah, this went really well. I definitely like the changes I've done to the Rita deck. This one feels a lot more consistent. I mean, she still struggles a little bit with fighting, but she's just able to kind of tank things. I mean, she took 2 false leads. Not false leads, but 2, was it shadows? Yeah, hunting shadows. She took 2 hunting shadows without any issues. Using those hunting jackets. Or is that hunting jacket? Yeah, hunting jacket. And the fact that you can get those back with a resourceful is ridiculous. Like, that's so powerful. I mean, you can technically do that with, like, Pete Sylvester as well, but yeah. And then this gets you resources back just by putting cards on it, and then you get those cards back once you kill it. Like, all of it just went really, really well. Obviously starting with the Pin of the Queen right off the bat. That's the first time I've ever had that happen, where I started with all 3 segments in my hand. Usually the best I got was 2, and usually the other segments usually at the bottom of the deck. But in this case, I was able to start with the segment of Onyx, get the Pin of the Queen out, and then get it out a second time, which worked out really well. Obviously, that's why it's been tabooed, but honestly, for how difficult this is, I'll take every win I can get. And yes, we did really well on this. There's no question. I believe the 3rd agenda has 5 Doom on it, and I think we would have started with 1 because we had only 1 act left. So it would have started. The timer would start ticking away at that point. But yeah, honestly, the way the deck's been set up, I've been really happy about it. Changing Mandy to be more focused on just drawing rather than searching, I think has been really good. Obviously, we still have the Rook, Mr. Rook, to do some of it. But also, we've been really lucky with the Elder Signs with her lately. Every time we get that, it's essentially an extra card, which definitely adds up. But yeah, overall, I've just been really happy about it. I was definitely a little concerned about the 8 HP Hunting Knight Gaunt. But we were able to kind of keep things under control. If we had to go another round, I could have done elaborate distraction to kill off the Acolyte and evade the Brotherhood cultists and do a damage to them. And then that would have bought me time to get the Chair's Keepsake out and then kind of reassess from there. And then if I need to, I could always go down and do an evade with Bum Rush, which won't trigger his ability. Yeah, like usually most people have a lot of issues with the Brotherhood cultists because fighting's usually the way to go, but Rita can just get around that, just gradually pelt these things down. Obviously, it gets very dangerous when you get the mysterious chanting, because then it gets a boost and you have to deal with it. But yeah, I'm happy with the results here. Let's go ahead and grab his Chaka real quick, just because we can. It'll end up replacing Mr. Rook, obviously. Forgotten Guardian asset, the 4-cost asset can be committed for similar opposite symbols of Alejandro. So Alejandro is a willpower, intelligence, and wild, and this Chaka is combat, agility, and a wild. Ally Etsley Wayfarer gets +1 fight, +2 instead while attacking an enemy on a victory location. And then +1 agility and +2 agility if you happen to be evading an enemy with vengeance, which is pretty neat. Attacking an enemy with Victory Axe. And as a reaction, after you add an enemy to the victory display, you can exhaust her to heal you and Ishtaka for 1 horror. So having Ishtaka is super helpful. Going either pure Ishtaka or pure Alejandro tend to be a lot easier than going your own route, but we can probably afford to turn up the difficulty now that we've managed to get through the hard stuff. That being said, like I said, there's still the big boundary ahead. So with that, let's go ahead and go straight into Resolution 1. Alright, you arrive back at your house and take stock of the situation. Your investigation throughout the city has uncovered the existence of a secret cabal within Arkham. From what you can tell, they call themselves the Brotherhood, and they seem to know more about the Etsley Relic and Alejandro's previous expedition than even you do. Their methods are secret and furtive, and their motives elude you still. However, one piece of vital information has come to light. They seek a place known as the Nexus of Nakai, as Chaka claimed. A map of Central America lies on the table before you, marked with the previous expedition's trail. I have heard of this place, but its exact location is not known to me. Once again, your mysterious guide appears to know more than she lets on. With no other leads to follow, you are left with no choice. Once more, you must journey into uncharted territory in search of answers, but will anyone return this time? Alright, so all the acts have been completed, so we'll go ahead and do these one at a time. Log that the investigators found the missing relic. And again, we get to add the Relic of Ages back into the Investigator deck, which I'll just have Mandy hold on to it. And then over here, if we did the, let's see, yeah, if the 3D was completed, recording the campaign log, the investigators rescue Alejandro. If Alejandro is not part of an investigator deck, you can choose to include him in the deck. Does not count towards investigator deck size. Since we are forging our own path, we do not add him to our deck. In fact, we can't, but we do get 2 experience for that. And then down here, if 3F has been completed, the investigators forged a bond with his Chaka. And then same thing, you can add her to the deck, in which case we just get another 2 experience. Okay. Lead investigator earns the Expedition Journal card and may include it in their deck. This card does not count towards the investigator's deck size. So this is the Expedition Journal. Item, tome, asset, 2 cost. Commits for 2 intelligence. You may take an additional action during your turn, which can only be used to explore. Sunday, July 12th, 1925. What have we done? Doesn't take up any slots. I will go ahead and have Mandy have it, because she's usually the one doing the exploring anyway. Each investigator earns experience equal to Victory X, and then we also get an additional 1 experience for each Act 1 card that was completed during this scenario, as you gain insight into the schemes of the Brotherhood. So our Victory display has 6. We gained 1 from Black Cave, Town Hall. Oh, we didn't even go to Velman's Diner. Velma's Diner, unfortunately, didn't have anything worthwhile. I completely forgot. We didn't even touch Velma's Diner. But yeah, that place doesn't have victory to begin with. Victory 1, Victory 1. Arkham Police Station has Victory 1. Northside has Victory 1. Curiosity Shop has Victory 1. And then this University has Victory 1. So that's 6 locations. So that's 6 XP. And then we get an additional 1 XP per completed Act 1. Or, sorry, completed... any first act cards that were completed, which are all of the ones over here, I guess. Am I misreading something? One second. For each Act 1 card that was completed. Oh, sorry about that. The Act 1s are all over here. My bad. So it was these locations. So this one was the Act 1. There's the Act 1, and then there was one over here. Yep. So we've done all 3 of the Act 1s, so we get another 3 experience, putting us at 13. So yeah, we got an extra 4 experience thanks to completing all that with forging our own path. And we're going to need every point of it. Let's go ahead and go to the resupply point. It is clear now that you will have to venture once more into the wilds before the mystery behind the Relic of Ages is solved. Each investigator has the option to choose additional supplies to add to their current stuff, same rules as before. But before you depart, you can also pay a visit to St. Mary's Hospital. You can spend 3 experience points to get rid of poisoned if you're still poisoned, and you can also spend 5 experience points to get rid of either a physical or mental trauma. That's really expensive, but if for whatever reason you were still poisoned, this would be the time to get rid of it and, get a fresh start. The supply points with 2 investigators is 5 each, and the list is a little bit different. We now have gasoline, which says it makes the long journey by car more possible. There's the blanket, of course. There's also the pocket knife and the pickaxe. The pocket knife too small to be used as a reliable weapon, but easily concealed, and then pickaxe for breaking apart rocky surfaces. So the big things that we definitely need. I'm definitely not going to spend XP at St. Mary's. That's just out of the question. Also, some of these things are no longer available. Like there's no longer torches or any of that available. So, well, we definitely want provisions. We need at least possibly 2 gasolines. And we need a pickaxe. The pocket knife, if you're forging your own path, you do not need it. We can't get the pendant, unfortunately, because you can only buy that in the first one. The blanket would be good. So we could do something like this. I mean, we could get the canteen, but honestly, we don't need it. The pocket knife, actually, sorry, I take that back. The pocket knife is used in one particular scenario, but if we do well enough, we won't even need to do that scenario at all. So it is what it is. We can get a compass, but I'm pretty sure that doesn't actually help us. So I think the plan is 5 each. Pickaxe, medicine, provisions, and then blanket, 2 gasolines, and provisions. And I think that covers most of our needs. Yeah, give me a moment. Okay, I got my plan of action. I think at the end of my Half-Life run, I mentioned that if I was going to be doing Forgotten Age, I was going to go kind of broken with it. And I think it's time. We got 13 experience to spend. And of course, we got those resources as well. Or the supplies, rather. And I'm definitely curious to see how broken this is going to get. So, first I'll talk about the supplies. We have 5 supplies. I'm going to spend 2 on medicine, 2 on 2 different provisions, and 1 on gasoline. So that is 5. Lovers has been resolved, so I can put Mr. Rook back into the deck. And then 13 experience. We're going to spend 5 on Necronomicon. which is broken in itself. With Mystic Mandy, it's not as bad. You can still do a few things with that knowledge is power, of course, but that's not where it gets really broken. We're also going to go ahead and I had 3 experience to spare, which is I went ahead and grabbed Studious to go ahead and get that additional card slot, starting hand slot, or starting card at the start. The real broken thing is this newest card. This was introduced in the latest expansion, which I guess that term is probably going to lose value over time, but the Drowned City expansion. It's a specialist card for Miskatonic and Scholar. She is a Scholar, as well as an assistant. There are 2 versions of this. There's a level 1 version that's an asset that you actually have to find and play. And you have to spend a resource to put attach cards to it. And then no matter what, the attached card gets put away at the end of the turn. But the level 5 version is a permanent and limit 1 per deck. Item Miskatonic as a lightning bolt during your turn. If there are no asset attached to the library pass, you can exhaust it to attach a tome asset from your hand to library pass. The attached asset takes up no slots. When your turn ends, you must either pay 1 resource or place the attached asset on the bottom of your deck. I'm pretty sure with a combination of Grim Memoir and Necronomicon, I think this is going to just break the game. Because generally Necronomicon is not something you want to keep out. You want to get it out, spend the secrets, and then somehow either recur it into your deck or into your hand or something along those lines. And this does that. Obviously it goes to the bottom of your deck, but of course you can always do something that makes the deck shuffle, or in the case where you're cycling through your deck so fast, you can have this card at the bottom and just keep cycling over and over again. I want to maximize my chances of getting a perfect run on Boundary Beyond, because if I do that, that will save me a lot of time and get us pretty much raring to go for the end game. I have never beaten the Forgotten Age. I've come close. Obviously, I'm going the hardest route, which is forging your own path, so I'm kind of willing to go all in on this and see what happens. So with that in mind, that's 13 experience, 5, 10, 13, and that's what we got. So, in hindsight, I probably was better off just going after this. The only reason I was kind of wanting to start, well, originally the way I had it set up in my notes for this build is to grab the library pass and Necronomicon at the end, like when I had nothing else better to do, just to make the game even more broken. But this opportunity really is just there, and if anything that gets me Tesla's clues, I want to take advantage of. There's a good chance I can get really hurt badly in Boundary Beyond, so I wanted to go ahead and make sure I have everything I can possibly do to make this go better. In previous runs, I usually had a lot of contingency plans to deal with a lot of the threats in this campaign, and I've drawn so many auto-fails that at this point I need to have solutions that don't require skill checks, and the Necronomicon is going to be that. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and talk about Rita Young. So I went ahead and got a blanket for her, so now she won't suffer any additional trauma. She'll handle the pickaxe, and she'll have a provision. Essentially, we need 4 provisions, at least 2 provisions per investigator, but I'm actually okay with Rita starting with less resources in one of the scenarios if necessary. So that's what we're sitting on right now with that. And then with 13 experience, I'm spending 6 of it to upgrade my Luckies to Lucky level 3s. This makes them 0 cost. They can be used for other people's skill chests in the same location. And it gives you +3 to the skill instead of +2, and lets you draw a card. All good stuff. And then I'm going to replace one of my Cherished Keepsakes with a Ace in the Hole, which is exceptional, costs 6 experience, and of course we've seen it before as a trick, and lets me take 3 additional actions. So with that, Rita is pretty much good to go at this point. Her build is practically complete. Like I said, she only really had stuff planned out to about 30 experience, and we kind of got all that taken care of. I think I'm missing... Oh, yeah, actually, no, sorry, this is 24 experience so far. The only thing she's missing is our fire extinguishers. And obviously we can upgrade Grizzled more, which that's probably what I'm going to probably do first, is upgrade Grizzle. Or I can go and try to get Observed or something and start getting that going. But yeah, that is the plan. And I'm hoping it's good enough. Because I don't just want to beat this campaign, because it's giving me so many headaches. I want to destroy it now. And this might do it. Alright, so obviously we don't get Alejandro or Staka because we're forging our own path. 39 cards? Oh yeah, I think that's right. We had 32, we added 5 because of Ancestral Knowledge, and then we got the Relic and the Expedition Journal, which is fine by me. To be honest, I don't actually want to cycle through the deck that much anymore. I'm thinking what will end up happening is if I get myself in a situation where I have 2... Well, actually, I guess it doesn't work that way. Because of Grim Memoir. I mean, actually, it still could work that way. Yeah, you can do some cheeky things with this. Like Grim Memoir, what you can do is you could just attach it to the library pass and just let it sit and not use it. And then when the turn ends, put it on the bottom of the deck and then draw your Necronomicon and just cycle between those 2 cards. Every other turn have a Necronomicon. I suppose that can work. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. With that, yeah, that's pretty much it. What was that? Was it resupply point? Okay, so we'll be going into scenario 4, Boundary Beyond, next time. So I am Data Press Dealer. This was Arkham Horror the card game with Mandy Thompson and Rita Young doing the Forgotten Age. I'll see you guys next time.